Good evening, students in Management 303, Entrepreneurial Small Business Fundamentals. This is your scraggly Santa beard professor, Dr. Lennon. Can't shave due to the shingles, and yes, they do hurt like hell. Many thanks to students who have been giving me well wishes, and yes, if you got a 50-year-old or older loved one who has had chickenpox, for the love of Jesus, get those shingles vaccine. All right, gang. I just wanted to briefly talk about the what's left in the course. It's very straightforward, folks. You have 2 group tasks and 1 individual task. Let's talk about the individual task first. The individual task is the after-action report. What is an after-action report, you might ask yourselves. All right, well, 16 of you have already answered that, and so I'm going to show you one if you don't mind. After-action report is basically a brief 2-3 page summary of what was your experience like with the food truck game. What did you learn from it? All right, so I've taken the liberty of showing Mr. Towson's here. Eric, I hope you don't mind. It was quite good. You're doing very well on this assignment. If you can see, just, he had like 3 pages here, double-spaced. 12-point font, no biggie. Simulation second time around went a lot better than the practice round. And he liked it, all right? And then he gave some results. Data is good. He had eight grand cash on hand for a total of 52 in sales. This was really interesting, his approach. Other students hadn't done this, so I applaud you on this one, Eric. He talked about, stress levels of his employees. And, hey, considering stress is the result, it causes stuff like this nonsense. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of maintaining or watching the stress levels of your workers. And he showed how he fluctuated market share back and forth. And, it's like in your practice round, you ended up with 987 cash on hand out of 22 grand in sales. It's like, which is not good. Think about it, guys. But look how much better you did. I mean, he just kept getting better. Talked about his strategy of where he would park, where he would do with the employees, and how he would work all 3 employees all day, every day, and I couldn't figure out why the stress levels kept increasing. Interesting. Yeah, so even if you don't know why things, doesn't matter. Just document it. That's the point of this exercise. Market share was a bit tough to keep up in the higher percentage bracket. Interesting. Really depended upon location and advertising. See, so you identify these connections. That's what I'm looking for here. Later on, he goes on to say product inventory and pricing was also tough. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point of the game. It's not easy. But then I care about how you went, your approaches and how you did with it. Now, guys, I am most concerned with what you learned from the game and you telling me what you learned from the game. Sure, you can say it was difficult, but then tell me, well, then how did you address it? Okay, that's what's going to score you high points on this assignment. And yes, you are getting an A+ on this assignment. Everybody give a shout out to your colleague Eric on this one. Really nice job. All right, so that was the first thing I told you guys you had to take care of, your after action report. You will submit this through Dropbox, okay? And let's just switch it to students. Under assessments, you go assignments, Dropbox, and you have your after action business simulation after action report. That's your first one, okay? Now, because it's me, that's why you see all these other group things, right? Now, let's talk about your 2 group assignments. If you go to content, you will see your slide deck, and you will see the lean canvas assignment, okay? Let's talk about slide deck first. You should work these 2 in tandem, to be honest with you, okay? I have provided you templates for both, all right? Traditionally, when people have done startups, they've written lengthy business plans. You don't do that anymore. Instead, you write like this lean canvas thing, and in addition, you do a slide deck, or also known as a pitch deck, all right, where you try to get funds from investors. So what do you got to include in this? Well, if you see your template here, click on it. Okay. And you download it and complete it. First off, change this awful green and black. I intentionally made it ugly so that you would change it. What you need to include, though, are the contents of the slides. All right? You need to identify, in the first one, your product, your company name here, and your team members here. Next slide, I want problem. Briefly describe the problem that your product or service will solve. All right? So let's just say, oh, I don't know, your product was a food truck. Well, what is the product or service? What does it solve? You could say, and think bigger picture, like lunchtime, food in the park, I don't know, hunger. I mean, a very biggest problem, it solves hunger or mobile. These are the affordable meal. You might think affordable mobile meals. That would really encapsulate it. All right? Next, opportunity. Describe the market size for your product or service. Well, say I was describing the food truck for the food simulation here. I would say, okay, well, there's this, XYZ city in these different areas, and there are a Y number of competitors. I want numbers here, actual numbers. Even though that your company is fictitious, you can find industry numbers. Product. Describe what your product does, including the name and what it does. All right? Your business model. How will you generate revenue? Is it a one same sale, or is it a subscription service, or what? In the case of our food truck business, well, it's repeat sales. Competition. Who are they? Are they profitable or not? Competitive advantage. What makes you different? What makes your product a better mousetrap? Cooperation. Who can you collaborate with to sell your product? For example, if I were doing this food truck business, right? I'll bet you there are like coffee shops along the route. You could cooperate with them, but they don't sell hot dogs, do they? What about collaborate with, I don't know, party planners or corporate events or things like that? These are the people you could collaborate with. Okay? What do you need? What do you need? Money? Do you need access? How much? Access to markets? Do you need additional research? What? In this slide, think like that show Shark Tank when they go, oh, Mr. Wonderful, I want to team up with you because of this. Oh, Mark Cuban, I want to team up with you. So these are the sorts of things you need to answer. Now, if you'll notice, I have provided 9 slides. Now, I want no more than 15. That's 15 slides. I do not want text-filled slides. I want bullet points, a graph, whatever, something that I can look at 20 feet away and know what it is that I'm reading and seeing. Okay, remember, these are highlights, all right? This is, if you're making this presentation in real life, it should run no more than 15 minutes, all right? In this slide deck you send me, no more than 15 slides. I will stop reading after the 15th slide. And yes, that includes your name title slide in front. Okay? And again, I don't want ugly black and green. I want something that would be unique and suitable for your product. Okay. So we have covered your after action report, we have covered slide deck, and finally, Lean Canvas. Let's look at that. We go back into content and we look under business plan, Lean Canvas assignment directions. Watch these. It'll go through what a Lean Canvas is all about. It talks about you can also go to the 3-Day Startup website to tell you more about how a Lean Canvas works. You're basically going to fill out one of these. You're going to tell me what's the problem that your business solves. What are the existing alternatives? What's a solution? What's your unique value proposition? Single, clear, compelling. Who would be early adopters of your products? What unfair advantage or competitive advantage do you have, right? Go through this material, go through the 2 YouTube videos that I put there to describe it. It's very straightforward, actually. And you have a template to work off of right here. Okay. that, oh, I'm sorry, that went off of an old template, but a template, I'll make sure you have the right one for you, that you're going to work on, that's going to answer questions of, what is your business model? What are your key activities? What's your value proposition, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, you're going to submit this to the D2L Dropbox. Okay? All right, one other favor I ask of you folks, if you have gotten the email regarding faculty evaluations, please take them. We need as many of these as completed as possible for ACBSB accreditation. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm still in a lot of pain, but I am trying to get to emails as much as I can, so my apologies for the lateness. And I'm sorry for this thing going on for 11 minutes now. But, okay, guys, good luck. You've all been doing very well in this class. I'm confident you'll end on a great note. All right, thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.